Good evening, this is Navy Old Salt Gamer. I'm back on Mars. I've been working, excuse the mess, I have been working pretty hard, lots of mining. Amy actually ran out of mining material. I have to move her mining location. So I shut her down. I did get the door working, and I also got the door, when I open it, it turns Amy on. And then I just fire that up and she runs perfectly. And then if I want to close for a storm or whatever, it shuts the door and shuts Amy down. That works out pretty good. But what I've been working on a lot here is making a automatic manufacturing ore dispenser. And I got my refrigerated vending machine out here. I only have the input side of this set up right now, but that's pretty much everything I need at the moment. So I got this turned off. I emptied all these. There is some tweaking I have to do with I'll show you how I got this set up real quick. And you notice, before I go any further, I did this with only one sorter, one vending machine, no sorters here, no stackers, one stacker, no sorters, no stackers anywhere else, just one stacker and a vending machine, and 3 flip-flop, digital flip-flop chutes. 1, 2, 3. None of this extra craziness with all these sorters and all this other crap. You don't need it. And I'll show you how this works. So let's go through. I'll just go through the autolathe section of this. And I did have to put some sleeps in here because you have to give it time to go through the chutes. The ore, if you don't put these sleeps in here, and I could put idles in here or something else later on, but right now I slip sleeps in here so it has time for the ore to get to the vending machine into the autolathe in this case. So, and I put a sleep in here too, just to make sure the mode has time to flip. Now this is where I did the flip-flop chutes. I defined them and then I named them, and I named this one for the autolathe flipper, and I'm doing a save batch named. There's the hash for flip-flop, hash autolathe flipper, mode 1. Mode 1 is to not let it pass, but to deflect it down. So in autolathe, I want all these to be mode 1 all the way through. So what it does is it flips it to mode 1. Now when I put an ore through here, because it's a flip-flop flipper, it flips this to mode 0. And I can't find a digital flip-flop that doesn't automatically flip, and so I had to switch on mode 1 every time before I dispatched the ore. So it took up a line of code, even with that I got all 3 of my machines in one. And I could probably, I probably couldn't fit one more, but I got the 3 main, the autolathe, the electronics, and the pipe bender all on one IC chip. So this is a lot shorter. The other ones I've seen, like Cows Are Evil, he takes 1 chip per. Now I may have to add more in on this. His does a little bit more than mine, but he's got all those sorters. And I'm like, do I really need sorters? And it turns out you don't. But anyway, so here we go. Puts the autolathe flipper into mode 1, sleeps. And then I experiment with this one. I could probably take this one out. I'll have to experiment. And then it loads regions into R0, the autolathe, the contents. Now here's a tricky thing that I kicked my bottom for quite a long time. you can't use the iron hash, which is down here when I'm requesting the vending. This is the iron hash. When you're doing a load region, you can't use the iron hash. You have to use, and I'll show it to you, and it took me forever searching on the internet to find this. You have to use the iron type hash when you load a region. That was a huge problem that took me forever to work out. But it does work now. It loads the, it checks the contents for iron. Then it says, branch relative, if there's more than 99 iron, skip 2 lines. Then it re-flips the mode to 1, just in case it got slipped to 0. Sleeps for. This is just to give it time to dispense stuff, because believe me, it messes up if you don't put those sleeps in here the way this is written right now. Then does the same thing for copper, and the same thing for gold, the same thing for silicone, the same thing for steel, and then I have it sleep 5 to reset everything. And then I do the same thing with a little bit of a twist down here when it starts the electronic printer. I have to flip 2 of these now. I have to keep flipping the autolathe flipper to 0, mode 0, and the electronics flipper to mode 1. And then I could do the same thing here, but I have to redo this every time because the flippers flip on their own. So basically what happens is if you come up here and you switch this to mode 1 and it loads an iron, the autolathe flipper is going to be mode 0. In other words, the next thing you send through is going to pass right through. So you have to keep switching it back. So I do the same thing here with copper. Silicone, my light just went out. Steel. And then I do the same thing all over again with the pipe bender. But now I have to flip the autolathe to mode 0, the printer flipper to mode 0, and the pipe flipper to mode 1. And then I do the same thing. And that's how that works. And I'm going to have to feel my way over to here. Sorry. Open that. There we go. Alright. So we're ready to test this out. Now I played with it, so let's do that. And it's going to take a little time, but this will run constantly. So if I print something, say I have 101 iron in here, and I make some pipes, and it gets below 100 iron, it's going to automatically reload more iron. And I'll show you a neat thing up here, because if it does it the same thing again, I'm not getting much gold from Amy. I had to go out and mine a bunch of gold. But I don't have enough gold to fill all 3 of these, and there is a short stack of gold in the vending machine. Now if it loads the short stack first, it'll hop back over here. Say these, iron's full, copper's full, gold's full, silicone's full, and steel's full. And then it'll do the same thing here, and then it'll come back up here again and say, wait a minute, I don't have 100 gold. And it'll call for another gold. So it works kind of neat. I don't know if it'll do it this time because it's all a matter of how they're fed through there. But let's get started here. I'll turn that on. Now remember there's all these sleeps in here, but it's not going to matter in the long run. The initial load is going to take a while, but later on, it'll just keep updating, so you won't even notice it. Here's the silicone. Okay, put the steel up here. So I still have to put some sleeps in there. Now this one won't reload until it comes back. It's kind of unfortunate. There's irons. But again, this will be running constantly, so it doesn't really matter. It may kick this steel out at the end here. This is my chute, if anything extra comes through. Silicone. Yeah, I gotta put another timer in steel, and there's a steel. It kicked the steel out. So I have to look at that. It does work eventually. There's the copper. No iron in there yet, so it's gonna have to feed through. Oh, I'm looking at the wrong thing. Sorry. Iron. It doesn't have enough iron, so there's gonna probably reload iron too. Got steel, so it's got everything. But it loaded a short stack of iron, so now it's going to come back here and it's going to say, it'll take a few seconds. I'm going to say, hey, there's no steel here. And it should load the steel in there. It's got to go through the iron, the copper, the gold. So it could take like 30 seconds. There we go. That should load the steel there. There we go. Steel, right? Yes. Now this one is missing steel also. So once it goes through all these other ones, notice that this chute's pointing down. That one's pointing this way, which is correct now. So once this gets through everything and gets to steel, it should launch the steel in here. And hopefully this is correct. There we go. I'm not looking too stupid. Okay, so this one is full except iron. So this should load another iron. And there it goes, 116 iron. So now we got enough iron in that one. Now all these are loaded. So it'll just sit there in the background, waiting, running, looping, until I use, put one of these values under 100. And then it'll automatically, as long as there's enough ore in here, and this is what this stacker's for, I got this set to 100. So once I get, what was it short of? Steel. I don't have enough steel. Probably. No, it's short of iron. It was a short stack of iron. It's not really short. I could throw this 500 in there and it would automatically reload into the vending machine. So, but that's all I got to do. I got to take my, as Amy spits them out, and I stack them in here and put the extras in here. All I have to do is, if it runs out, is throw another stack in there, and it'll keep them rolling through this and updating it. I could probably take the sleeps out and just let it. Nah, I can't do that. I mean, it's not a big deal because now, you know, it's just going to keep going through, and it'll automatically do it when there's 100. It's just the initial one that has those couple hiccups, and I could play with that and fix that, but it still works. And I can also, I don't have enough of my special ingots, of course, to fill them all. So right now, I'll probably put, if I don't add those, I could just do a mass furnace X, and I may have to make 500 of each ingot, which is a lot of work. Or I could just put a inlet on these and throw the extra ores in here as I need. You know, either or, no pun intended. But there you go. That's my update for today. Everything else is pretty much the same. I have gotten rid of the this is now being charged by my batteries downstairs. I rewired a little bit. I do have to move Amy, like I said, but that's been working really good. I don't know where it was at. I was getting
power low.
I ate before I came on this time, at least. I did make a hard soup, by the way. Just so I had the extra room, basically, when I mine and stuff. But I turned my, and this is my overflow, any ore that doesn't get sorted pops out here. I don't need these, so they just hang around here until the storm hits. I turn this off. These have got to get enough nitrogen inside now, so I'm just venting my extra nitrogen. into the atmosphere because I don't need it. And that's how I was setting all the configurations. So I have 71 kilomoles of oxygen from the ice. That's all ice that Amy mined. And 99 kilomoles of volatiles. So I got a lot of fuel from my furnace, and eventually fuel from my rocket. She did mine, Amy did mine some nitrous oxide, which comes out here and then just evaporates when day comes. But apparently she goes out here. There isn't a lot of ore there yet, but she goes out to here. This is her central area. She should be mining still. But I guess she's a little short in this area. Plus I want to try and move her someplace where there's gold. Because I haven't been getting hardly any gold. I'll have to fill these holes in or she'll get stuck. So maybe I'll move her. There's not much gold on this map. There's some. I can move her over here. And then she'll mine this area. As a matter of fact, do I have my... Nope, I don't have my GPS card, so I'll do that later. But there you go, that's my update. Nothing else has really changed. The power grid is holding up really good. There's no problem with power. And there's some some uranium that blew away. I should do for a storm. I have to keep my eye out. But let's see how we're at here. Check one more thing. Food's still okay. I've got yeah, soybeans and wheat growing. We got power. I got plenty of power yet. I'm playing this in normal mode, by the way, so it's a lot easier. I figured I'm doing a lot of experimenting. All this stuff is stuff that I made that I want to experiment with. I'm going to experiment with the combustion centrifuge, soup storage, which I haven't made yet. Turbine generator I might play with. I want to put a beacon up. Window shutters, because it does get warm in here. Oh, speaking of which, I should check my... Oh, my CO2 is... I wonder if I bet you my CO2 filters are no good. It is up to 8%, so that's okay, but this is automated to shut off at 10, so my filters are probably no good. So I could fix that, no big deal. I wasn't very busy with this. So it works. Now what I'll do later, I'm not decided if I'm going to worry about when I eject these or not. And if I eject them, I could pump them into here. I'm not going to eject them very much. The only time, what I think I'm probably going to end up doing is making a whole ton of ores, which is going to be a pain, but and doing maybe 500 of each, except for maybe wasp oil. That's a nightmare. And just throwing them in there and then adding them. I have a few lines. I do have the rocket printer set up and the tool printer set up. I could just do those manually. I mean, I could add them, but I imagine if I add those, I'm going to need another chip. I have not seen anybody else do this and only use one chip. Now, that being said, I only have the 3 major ones hooked up. I could get them all hooked up with 2 chips without any problem. But there you go. An extra stack. I have a lot of extra stuff. I print things and then I move things and then I change things and I'm like, ah, crap. Now I got extra ones. So I might need a recycler here pretty soon. I'm getting quite a pile of crap over there. There you go. Let me know what you think. This code, what I can do, put this in my library. I already have part of it there, but I've updated it since. I could put this in my library over right for dispenser, and then I'll copy it and I'll put it on the Facebook post. If you're not a member, if you're watching this video, if you're not a member of Stationeers on Facebook, there's a lot of good stuff that goes on there. Go ahead and join. People put videos on there, the neat things they're doing, and the codes that they use and things like that. So I would highly recommend, if you are into Stationeers, join that Facebook page. It's pretty good. I mean, it's got like 300 followers right now, but it's growing pretty fast. So that's it for today. I'm not sure what I'm going to do next, but this has been fun. I like playing with code. This is an adventure. I did not. Oh, speaking of which, real quick, did you know? I did not. That you could pause the game from here. You can hit that button and code with the game pause. I never knew that. I saw that. I was like, wait a minute. Somebody had that on a video. I'm like, wait a minute. Are you kidding? You can pause the game from here. You can also do it from here. And F1. I didn't know that either. Very interesting. But there you go. I thought that was kind of cool. I like one thing I couldn't get to work, by the way. I had to alias. I could define the vending machine, but I did have to alias the autolathe electric printer in the pipe bender. I could not get this line to work using batch names in any way. Load name. I've tried a couple different ways. I couldn't get it to work, so I just had to alias the printers. Everything else is defined, and since I only have the vending machine, I could define the vending machine. The only other thing I have is a flip-flop, so I only have the manufacturing devices is the vending machine and flip-flop to do all this. I didn't need to put the stacker in there because I'm just throwing yours in there as they get to 500. I'll just chuck them in. But there you go. I've wasted enough time. Maybe Old Salt Gamer. Remember to subscribe and like, and I'll see you in the next video.